everybody, I'm Allison here at Popcorn Frights Film Festival in South Florida, and I am here with Brandon Christensen, who is talking about Superhost. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. What's it like to be back?
It's awesome. I love coming back to Florida for this festival. I've made good friends with Igor and Marc and Judith and the whole team, so it's, every time I come back, it's like seeing family again, so it's great.
Let's talk about Superhost. So where did this come from?
My first two films were, these really oppressive films about mothers being terrorized and stuff like that, and I was kind of like, I can take a break from that. I've got 3 kids now, and there was nothing really new happening in the development that I could exploit for scares, so I was just like, I'm going to try something totally different. And when I was doing the festival run for Z, I stayed at an Airbnb, and I had a situation where I had to deal with the host of it, where he had to come and visit and do all these things, and I was just kind of watching it, and I was like, man, this is such a bizarre experience for both of us. Like, we're both complete strangers. I'm living in his place for a couple days, and he's taking care of this thing. We're making small talk. It's just this awkward thing, and I thought it would be pretty funny to kind of just see where that could go. Like, what kind of, you're staying at this stranger's house. What if that stranger is not who they say they are, and it kind of just went down that rabbit hole. And really, when I came up with the character Rebecca, it just sort of spiraled into this crazy story about what she's doing and why. And so it was a ton of fun. It was just nice to do something fun for once,
Yeah.
Something that you can kind of enjoy the whole time and not feel like crap.
Let's talk about Rebecca, because it seems like it's a lot of fun, but she's really crazy. So how crazy did you want to make her? And did you go beyond that, or did she go beyond that? Did Gracie do that?
It was kind of interesting because I wasn't sure. Like, she really makes or breaks the film, and if you don't, it kind of goes back to that, just like, can you make a villain lovable, And even though that she's doing some pretty horrible things, the fact that she's doing it with so much joy and charisma, it just makes you kind of root for her. So it's kind of an interesting, situation to be put in as a viewer, because, like, she's technically, she's clearly the bad guy, but by the end, I feel like if I've got you rooting for her, I've kind of done my job. So that was kind of the goal for it. And just as far as her performance, we were able to really kind of play with it, because it was hard to say exactly how far to push certain things. And so, Gracie was so fun to just sort of try different things and just do all these different, just different line reads for everything. And I feel like we found a pretty good balance of creepy and, totally psychotic. So it was fun.
Creepy and totally psychotic. Great way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Gracie. She is phenomenal in this.
Yeah.
If you didn't have her, how do you think Rebecca would have ended up differently?
I always kind of wanted to have that sort of spunky personality, someone that's trying their best to be as perfect as possible on the surface, and then, you get into a deeper and a darker past. I definitely wanted to keep it fun and playful, but Gracie, she comes from a Disney background, so she's spent a lot of her career in front of cameras pretending to be perfect for Disney. And when we first talked, I was like, I want you to channel that, because I think that's so funny, you know? Because, like, you do these interviews, you do the press things, and you're always just presenting your best self. And I feel like that's what Rebecca was doing for these people, presenting their best self. Because if she, she's in the middle of something. If there's another story in another universe where it's following Rebecca's path from the beginning to end, and it's probably a lot different than what we're seeing, because she's doing her own thing. And so it was just really important to sort of show the cracks slowly form in that perfect presentation.
Will we get a sequel?
I'd love to. It'd be super fun, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right. For you personally, you do a lot of horror, so what is the appeal for you?
I think it's just it's so fun to elicit a reaction with something. I think comedy and horror are very similar. Where if a joke lands, it can make an audience howl with laughter. If a scare lands, it makes everybody jump. So I think it's a lot of fun to be able to get that sort of instinctual response to something and seeing it play out like that. So I think I've been a horror fan since I was a kid. I grew up on things, and so it's just sort of a lot of fun to sort of. I have 2 boys now. I'm hoping that eventually they hit that horror phase and they're able to watch the things their dad's making. And if I can genuinely scare them, that would be really cool.
I don't know what it would be like growing up in your house. That would be very interesting, to say the least. Tell me about this house and the location. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, we got really lucky. I actually wrote the film for another house that was in the area. It was a really modern, kind of a cold, sterile place. And right before we wanted to get the location deal, the guy just kind of vanished on me. And so I reached out to different friends that I knew had places up in the area, and the Churko family, who they're from Canada. He's kind of a big deal record producer and everything, but they said, yeah, you can come out and shoot for us. Like, they didn't really care about money or anything like that.
Wow.
They just thought it was really cool. So they were hugely supportive, and we basically took over their house for a month, shot the film. They came out one time to set and saw it, and it was such a small production. I mean, the crew was 6 people. It was me and a producer, Kurt Harder, and then the cast. It was so small that we didn't really leave that much of a dent in the place, fortunately. So. It was just, they were super generous with their place, and, it was such a super cinematic house. When they showed me pictures, I was like, holy crap. I had to rewrite the script for it, but that was great because we had a place that legitimately was awesome. So.
Yeah, it really was perfect for this film. So what's next for you?
I don't know. I've got a couple things cooking. I'm not sure which one's going to pop soon. I've got a few things.
Okay.
Just sort of seeing what's going to happen. Well, I'm not sure. It's always a weird situation where it's like, I can go many different ways. So I'm hopeful that I'll be shooting something sooner than later, though.
Awesome. Well, I'm hoping for a little bit more Rebecca because she was awesome.
I'm sure she'd
and
love
it was
that.
certainly left open for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't tell anyone. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking
problem.
with us.